Yo, see?
Hey,
Hey, what's going on?
how are you?
Man? Good, good. So you're a photographer now, eh?
Yeah, I spent so much money on this camera and it takes great photos.
All right, sick, man. You want to take a picture of me real quick?
You want to stand over there by that tree?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
All right, yo, make sure the aperture is nice and low so you can get that background blurred out completely.
Yo, don't even worry, man. This camera takes really good pictures on auto.
Wait, what? You shoot pictures in auto?
Yeah, man. Like, all I do is just click a button and it takes really nice photos. Like, that's why I bought it with so much money, you know?
Man, you can do so much more with it. Go home and learn how to use manual mode.
Manual mode? What the heck is that? What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Tassine and I'm back with another video. And in this video, you're gonna learn how to shoot in manual with your DSLR camera. And don't be intimidated. I was so scared. I was like, what the heck is manual? There's so many settings. Don't be intimidated. It's actually easier than you think. This is how to shoot in manual for beginners. And I really hope you guys like that intro with my friend Abdul. Hey, there he is. So this is Abdul. He has his own tech channel on YouTube. He does a lot of reviews of tech, I guess, right? That sums it up.
This is also a technology, so that's what we're going to be talking about.
That's what it is. So we're going to talk about how to shoot manual for beginners. And you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's get into it, bro. All right, so when you're shooting on manual as a beginner, you only got to worry about three things. The three things are shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. These three things actually really complement each other and help each other out to make the perfect picture. So let's talk about shutter speed. Shutter speed is pretty much how much your sensor is exposed to the light. So shutter is like a gate that's closing your sensor, like this. And then your sensor is behind this gate. The faster the shutter speed, the shutter opens quickly and closes quickly, exposing the sensor for a limited time. And the slower the shutter speed, it opens and it stays open for a while and then it closes, exposing the sensor to more light. If you have the shutter open for a very long time, meaning slow shutter speed, then you're gonna get a really bright picture, which is what you kind of want to do when you don't have enough light outside or you're shooting in a dark environment such as nighttime. But if you're shooting in a daytime like this, you're gonna want to have the shutter speed very quick so that it opens for, you know, a split second, captures a little bit of light, and it closes quickly, so that you get the perfect exposed picture. So when you have your shutter speed going, you know, really fast or a really fast shutter speed, then the shutter opens really quickly and closes really quickly. That means it freezes time and it takes that picture instantaneously, making it look like it froze time. So if you're taking a picture of a car moving down the highway and you have your shutter speed high enough, it'll look like that car is frozen on that highway and there's no motion at all. But if you have your shutter speed not that fast, then you'll see that car's wheel or rims spinning and you won't see the definition of the rims. Although if you have a fast shutter speed, you'll see the exact definition of the rims. Even though your eye can't see it, your camera can.
Okay, let's talk about aperture. Now, aperture is a bit confusing, so stick with me a little bit. When you have small aperture value, that means that your camera's iris is open a lot wider. And when you have a big aperture value, your camera's iris is a lot smaller. And that can be a little bit confusing, and this all has to do with how much light you're letting the camera in. Okay, so the second thing aperture affects is how much bokeh or bokeh or whatever you want to call it. So if you're taking a portrait, you want the background, so you want your subject to stand out and you want the background to be completely blurred out. And to do that, you want to keep your aperture as low as possible. But that means, like we said, the iris is really big, letting in more light. Now, if you're shooting a landscape, you want your aperture to be as high as possible so that you get everything looking sharp. Okay, so that was a bit confusing. Now let's recap. Low aperture means you have a bigger iris on your camera letting in more light. Bigger aperture value means you have a smaller iris on your camera letting in less light.
All right, guys, we're almost done. So the last thing you want to worry about is the ISO. What does ISO stand for? I actually have no idea and I wouldn't be able to tell you. But what I can tell you is what it does. So with ISO, pretty much what that is that it's fake light. So if you're, you know, shooting at the nighttime or in a dark situation and you have that aperture really low, like Abdul was talking about, and you have that shutter speed, you know, moderately slow as well, so that the shutter can be open and taken as much light as possible. But even then you see yourself to be getting dark pictures, then you can bump up the ISO a little bit to get that fake light and, you know, to expose that picture properly and get that proper picture. Or for instance, say if you're trying to get a picture with a lot of detail in the background during the nighttime, and your aperture, you know, you have it bumped up higher, so at a higher aperture value, which means that your iris is smaller, capturing less light, and your, you know, picture is turning out really dark, bump up the ISO. So ISO is whenever, like, you know, you need that fake light, you bump up the ISO. But here's the downfall with ISO. When you bump it up and you put anything fake in your life, it's not going to be good quality, right? So when you have more ISO and, you know, adding that fake light into your camera or into your pictures, that's when the quality of that picture is not going to be good, or not as good as, you know, a really low ISO picture. So try to keep the ISO as low as possible. If need be, add that fake light. That's pretty much it. Remove all your fake friends, remove the fake light, life is good. All right guys, so if you guys made it to this part of the video, I hope you guys learned a little bit about how to shoot manual on your DSLR camera. I hope you're not intimidated anymore. And if you guys like this type of video, please do hit that like button and subscribe if you want to learn more about cameras, photography, cinematography, because you know that's what I do. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.